Good evening. Making the headlines on Mello TV Evening News at 8. Sangster International Airport's runway reopened after temporary closure earlier today. Cardboard pushcart vendor fatally stabbed in downtown Montego Bay. And NIA states its refusal to participate in the Constitutional Reform Committee's process due to concerns surrounding lack of transparency, among other issues. And now the details. The runway at the Sangster International Airport in St. James was reopened after construction issues resulted in its closure today, forcing cancellations of 12 flights and delaying many others. Sharon Hislop-Holt, Manager, Commercial Development and Marketing at MBJ Airports Limited, said the runway was reopened at about 2:30 p.m.
Earlier today, we experienced some challenges with our runway due to the ongoing runway extension works. And this created some challenges for us throughout the day as the runway was closed. We continued some checks. We worked with the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority to ensure that the runway was safe for airport operation. We now advise the public that the runway has reopened. We understand that all the flights would have been impacted. We have 52 flights. 52 arriving flights scheduled to operate today. Most of those flights were diverted. 12 of those flights have been cancelled. Passengers are here and the runway is now opened. Some passengers have checked in, others the airline will continue checking and the airlines will arrive to take the passengers out today. For those flights cancelled, arrangements have been made with the passengers. Some airlines have already indicated that they have extra flights operating tomorrow to facilitate those passengers impacted. We just like to use this opportunity to thank the traveling public as well as all the airlines, all the stakeholders for their continued support as we work through this situation here today.
She said 52 flights were scheduled to arrive at the airport today, but most had to be diverted.
We're here at the airport stuck because we were informed that the airline on the runway has a big crack in it and no planes could land or take off. So now we're stuck here at the airport, have to go back and find a hotel because the airport said they're not accountable for that. The airline won't pay for our hotel room either, so we have to pay for it.
They keep bumping our flights and we don't know if it's going to get canceled or whether it's going to happen today.
You got to at least send some sort of email to us to say, look, we're having this problem. We're having this problem and we can't get you on the flight. No, I'm here. This is no when I'm learning that we have some problem with the runway. Not that we only have some problem with the runway. There's nobody for us to speak to. We have to go back, rebook ourselves in hotel, pay all this cost. Nobody here to give you any information. You're just standing here. You have to wait until some sort of information come up in this system to say, look, you rebook for 10:20 tomorrow morning. Nobody asks, can you afford to be here by 10:20 tomorrow morning? No, who's going to pay my cost? I got to rebook myself in a hotel tonight. I got to charge that to my credit card. And nobody here for me to talk to say, look, this is the way we can reimburse you. It is so slack.
We need to have two runways when incidents like this happen. You have another runway to back up so that nobody gets stranded. You have a lot of sick people out here, diabetic heart patients. Nobody here to help nobody. It's just chaos and pandemonium. So it's over as long as I get to go on my plane. And I hope the government see and know what went on today, and this should not occur again.
In other news tonight, Lift or Learning and Investment for Transformation is a social re-engineering program unveiled by Prime Minister Andrew Holness during his 2023 budget debate presentation on March 16. Over the next 5 years, at a cost of approximately over $2 billion US. The focus of this initiative will be on 500 high school graduates who complete their 5th and 6th grade education annually. Speaking at a post-cabinet press briefing yesterday, the managing director of the Heart NSDA Trust, Dr. Tanisha Ingleton, stated that the investment is significant but necessary for the development of young adults.
We're looking at $85,000 per month for 500 school leavers for a year, and so certainly mathematically it is a huge investment, but it is an investment worth making. We have to recognize that our young people need development. They need in a systematic way to be socially assimilated into the workplace. We have not been doing that enough. And so this particular program is geared towards that. And so this is an investment that we are willing to make, that we are able to make, and that we know will have exceptional outcomes in the future for our public service as well as our private sector entities.
In news from St. James, the Barnett Street Police in Montego Bay have commenced a probe into Wednesday night's fatal stabbing of a pushcart handyman in the inner city. So far, the deceased has been identified only as Stephen or Akeem of no fixed address. Reports are that shortly after 10:30 p.m., Stephen, who was reportedly in his late teens or early 20s and who was always seen selling cardboard boxes, was sleeping on the sidewalk in the vicinity of Church Lane and Barnett Street's intersection when he was pounced upon by a man armed with a knife. The accused reportedly stabbed Akeem multiple times before fleeing the scene. The police were summoned, and upon their arrival, the victim was discovered lying in a pool of blood with multiple stab wounds. The scene was processed, and Akeem was rushed to the Cornwall Regional Hospital where he was pronounced dead. His body was removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination. Akeem was known by many Montegonians for his usual kind-hearted assistance, which he frequently offered by pushing their loads to any location around the city. Still in St. James, in another crime report, the swift action of the police led to the arrest of a man suspected of murdering another man on Claude Clark Avenue, Montego Bay yesterday, August 9. Reports from the Montego Bay police are that at about 6:30 p.m., residents saw the suspect stabbing a man, 43-year-old Lincoln Green, and alerted the police. The police team responded and accosted the suspect as he was attempting to flee the scene. The suspect's identity is being withheld pending further investigations. Green, who was a bar manager, was found lying on his veranda in a pool of blood with multiple stab wounds to the upper body. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The investigation is ongoing. Back in the capital, the St. Andrews Central Police Division have arrested and charged 2 men. They have been charged with wounding with intent following an incident on Kingston Spring Road, Kingston 10, that occurred on Wednesday, August 2. They are 20-year-old Stephen Halstead, a student of Pandora Crescent, Kingston 11, and 21-year-old Rashawn Minot, unemployed, of Bayview Boulevard, Bull Bay in St. Andrew. Reports from the Halfway Tree Police coming into our news center are that at about 1:50 a.m., Halstead and Minot, armed with knives, attacked and stabbed a man multiple times. An off-duty police officer noticed the altercation and intervened. He discharged his licensed firearm in the direction of the men, hitting Halstead in the lower body. Now the police were alerted and upon their arrival assisted all 3 men to the hospital. Halstead and Minot were treated and later released into police custody. Both men were subsequently charged following a question and answer session in the presence of their attorney yesterday. Their court dates are being finalized. In a press release, an open letter addressed to the minister and co-chair of the CRC highlighted the NIA's steadfast commitment to constitutional reform in Jamaica, aiming to remove the monarchy, establish a republic, and enhance democratic accountability. However, the NIA stated it refuses to participate in the Constitutional Reform Committee's CRC's process due to concerns of lacking transparency, ignoring public education, and demonstrating an air of authoritarianism. Despite calls, there has been no live streaming of CRC meetings. Only 3 of over 13 meetings minutes have been published. The timeline and budget remain undisclosed, and crucially, public education on constitutional matters has been missing. The NIA proposes a 1-year period for public education and suggests using resources created by constitutional expert Dr. Lloyd Barnett. However, there is no indication of a change in the government's approach, they say, or intention to prioritize public education or transparency. Adding to concerns, the government recently introduced a constitutional amendment without consultation disregarding opposing views and the CRC's involvement. Given these circumstances, the NIA declined the CRC's invitation to submit suggestions. The letter emphasized that participating under these conditions could give a false impression of a democratic reform process. In a Mello TV update into the death of 15-year-old Jamila Cole, who was raped and beaten during a home invasion, during which her mother and cousin were also attacked in their community of Cotton Tree, Albert Town, Trelawney. DSP Winston Milton, commanding officer, Trelawney Division, has made an appeal for a third person of interest to report to the police station.
We have taken 2 persons of interest in custody. We have been working assiduously to locate a third person who we believe the public can assist us in locating. He is Tyrese Brown, OC Sheetman, OC TJ, from an all-side district just in the parish of Trelawney. We believe that this man can assist us in advancing our investigation. Consequently, we are imploring him to come into us here at the Falmouth Police Station and speak with us. He may do so if he so desire with his attorney or any reputable member of the community, past justice of the peace. We also would like to, dispel some of the rumors that have been going around in, social media as it relates to family members being involved in this bizarre incident. I must point out categorically that so far there is nothing in our investigation that implicates any member of the family in this very, very heinous crime.
And that's our news package for you tonight. Thank you for tuning in to Mello TV Evening News at 8. I am Shelley-Ann Hill. Do stay safe, pleasant viewing, and thank you for watching.